Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Angel of the Night 091, and today we've got a Pokemon Sword and Shield Wi-Fi battle versus Nero. If you guys enjoyed my videos there today, be sure to hit that sub button, get the alerts, press the like, post your comments, and let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the battle. We've got that battle versus Nero in Sword and Shield, as stated in our intro. I actually ended up finding the battle pretty fun overall. This team that you're going to see here is something that I haven't really shown on my channel very often, and that's just because, it's not my typical play. I kind of taken some pointers from a competitive team that I seen in one of the VGC battles, and I made this team for a VGC tournament that actually happened in Sword and Shield quite some time ago. So this is something that you probably haven't seen on my side, but I've got my Clefairy and I've got my Snow Rider Calyrex. We've got our Torkoal and Amoonguss on the opponent's side, so that's a very kind of typical double battle play. Torkoal, of course, comes in, sets up the sun, and Amoonguss usually has a way to distract the opposing Pokemon into itself. Kind of like a follow me, but not quite. We're going to see the Amoonguss here go for the obvious Protect here. Now, I'm going to say that the Protect is definitely a good choice on his side, mainly because what's going to end up happening is that he's actually going to be able to survive my max Hailstorm. Now, with Clefairy, you've got that typical follow me, and basically any attack that comes in against the Calyrex is actually going to be redirected to the Clefairy. So that actually helps out in a way, because a lot of the times when you see a Calyrex onto the field, you're going to see probably a Trick Room into play, so that way you can outspeed, because mainly Ice Rider Calyrex is usually a very slow type Pokemon. So you want to get that boost up there in order to be able to attack first. Now that we've got an attack in, the Amoonguss, of course, is hurting. There's really not much that Amoonguss can really do in lines of trying to take down Clefairy or the Calyrex. I guess Amoonguss could probably go for a Sludge Bomb of some sort, or some sort of a poison type move to try to take on Clefairy. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Clefairy is kind of there to stay. You don't really see Clefairy getting knocked out fairly quickly, because a lot of the time what they try to do is they try to do things like statuses and whatnot. But that Clefairy does have an Eviolite, so its defenses are actually quite high. We are going to go in for the Max Quake here. Max Quake is going to hit the Amoonguss onto the second turn. That's actually going to be enough to knock out that Amoonguss, and I'm actually quite happy about that, because quite frankly, it could pose to be a problem later on in the battle. Now the cool thing is here we get the Chilling Neigh, and that actually boosts the attack stats. So you can kind of imagine in a regular VGC battle that, Ice Rider Calyrex can be a huge threat, mainly because of a Trick Room. You could boost your stats every time you knock out a Pokemon. It could be a problem for some. Now, we do have Clefairy in here. Clefairy is doing pretty well, actually. I'm surprised no one has actually taken out Clefairy yet, and that's really different, because I would think that people would want to get Clefairy out there, so that way they could then go in for the attack onto the Ice Rider. We see a shiny Incineroar coming out. That could pose as a bit of a problem there to the Ice Rider. Could also pose as a little bit of a problem to the Clefairy as well, especially if it has some sort of really high attacking attack. But anyways, most of them are going for the Protect here. That's definitely a good idea. However, we're going to go for the Max Quake into the Torkoal. We want to try to get Torkoal out, because mainly, the fact that it's going to overheat at some point, that could definitely pose as a problem. I'm actually really surprised he hasn't swapped his Torkoal out to bring it back in to get rid of the ice. But here he goes. He's still going to go for the Iron Defense. That's just going to boost up the defensive stats. Definitely going to be helpful against the Ice Rider, because let's face it, the Ice Rider is primarily a physical attacking Pokemon. Incineroar here, coming in, doing the Protect, basically trying to stall out the Ice Rider from, basically being Dynamaxed. But we're going to go in for the Follow Me here again, and then we're going to go for the High Horsepower. We're going to go back for the High Horsepower, though, onto the Incineroar to try to knock him out. But you know what? In comes Indene. or Indeedee, sorry, not Idene, that's a little rat Pokemon, but Indeedee, setting up that Psychic Surge. And Psychic Surge is a battlefield kind of scenario, so it's going to set up a really weird battlefield. I'd go into the details, but I'm going to be honest with you, I actually can't remember much about the Psychic Surge, so I apologize there. We get the high horsepower off onto the Indeedee, whatever you want, whatever you want to basically pronounce it as. The body press coming into the Clefairy, not very effective, but you know what? It actually did quite a bit of damage, and luckily we still have the Hail Up, which is actually going to knock out the Indeedee from the match, and that's like super awesome for me because, I mean, 2 Pokemon out, always great to have. We still have Ice Rider and Clefairy. In comes the Incineroar, and of course, you know, I'm pretty sure it had the Intimidate. The Intimidate is going to intimidate the 2 Pokemon that I have, going to drop our attack stat. But you know what? That's okay. I'm not really too concerned because, I mean, we're doing pretty wicked awesome at this point. I mean, we took out 2 Pokemon. Especially, it looks like 2 supportive Pokemon anyways. The Incineroar, again, going for the Protect. Like, come on, man. Get your attack going. Like, what are you doing? Get this Clefairy out or it's just going to knock you out, man. Like, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if the opponent really understands the whole follow me scenario, but that's, you know, not my problem. Body press coming in onto the Calyrex here. And, of course, you know, that does a bit of damage. Not as much as I would really be too concerned with. We're going to go in for the follow me here. We're going to go for the attack onto the Incineroar. We want to get the Incineroar out because that is probably the biggest threat Pokemon that's actually onto the field right now. He's going to go in for the Flare Blitz. The Flare Blitz is going to go right into the Clefairy because, of course, you know me, I went for the follow me. That's okay, guys, because, I mean, once Clefairy goes down, I mean, Calyrex is going to be able to get another hit in, and then we're probably going to end up having a problem with one of the Pokemon that's opposing us. Mainly because, you know, Fire type and whatnot, but that's cool. Weakness Policy, of course, boosting the special attack of one of the Pokemon. There's the Body Press. Body Press coming in onto the Calyrex. And like I said, Calyrex basically gets knocked out this turn. That's fine. We got one more attack in. That's really cool. So 2 Pokemon down. The other 2 Pokemon are basically weakened. In comes the Entei and my Milotic. Now, I just want to give a heads up. I do have a little bit of a Joy-Con drift going on here. So if you see the attacks going back and forth, that's kind of why. I ran into the problem. I do need to take them apart and fix them, but I haven't gotten there yet. So we're going to try to go in for the Extreme Speed here. I did not realize that Extreme Speed would not work on the Psychic Surge. Obviously, earlier I said that I didn't really remember. As I battle more, I'm going to remember more. So I do apologize, guys. Eventually, I will get my mindset back to all of the competitive plays. We were able to knock out the Torkoal here with a Scald, and of course, you know, type advantage. Espeon coming into the battle here now. With the Espeon onto the field here, we're just going to go in for the attack. We're going to go for the Scald onto the Incineroar. I'm kind of right now debating between the Sacred Fire and the Extreme Speed because, I mean, quite frankly, you know, that's kind of where it's at. Of course, Extreme Speed not going to work onto the Psychic Surge. So anyways, the Incineroar is going to go for the Protect. The Expanding Force coming from the Espeon. Now, that's going to hit the 2 Pokemon. That's really a cool move. I never really thought of that move for the Espeon, but I mean, I might in the future put that on there. We go for the Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire doing a critical hit onto the Espeon. And we're also able to burn it, which is pretty wicked. The Scald, of course, not going to be able to affect the Incineroar this turn, mainly because of the Protect. And there it is, guys, the Leftovers. Leftovers, and I believe I had Shell Bell on Milotic. I'm not sure. Might be Leftovers. Okay. I have a couple of sets with Milotic that have Shell Bell and whatnot, and Adrenaline Orb, so... anyways, the Psychic Surge is now off of the field here. We're going to go for the Scald, and then we're also going to go try to get the Extreme Speed. As you can see, there's that drift going back and clicking onto the Espeon. Luckily, in this situation here, it's not really going to be a big of an issue. We are able to get the Espeon out, but of course my Milotic also outspeeds the Incineroar as well. So luckily, we're able to knock him out, and that leaves our opponent with one more Pokemon left onto their side. And we're doing extremely well, guys. Like, we've got Milotic, we've got the Entei still into play. Unfortunately, you know, Clefairy and Ice Rider are down. But in comes the Crocodile. Now, Crocodile doesn't really have a leg to stand on here. There's really not much that it can do against the Milotic and the Entei, unless maybe it goes for the Earthquake, but you know what? They go ahead and they cancel. So that is going to be match, so good game, Nero. Alright guys, so now that that battle is out of the way, why not take a look at one of the battles that are up above? Select one of the other battles that are there and check them out, guys. I have plenty of Wi-Fi battles onto the channel, and if you enjoy my content, remember, be sure to subscribe. Take care, have a good one, and peace out.